So, today we're diving into a really fascinating, kind of dark fable. Think of it as a philosophical diagnosis pulled from some forgotten time. It's the story of a world that finally achieved perfect comfort, and in doing so, well, it pretty much engineered its own damnation. And that right there is the big question at the heart of all this. This isn't just some old story. It's like a mirror, you know? It's forcing us to ask, what do we really give up when we chase a life of perfect, unshakable security? All right, let's set the stage. The whole story kicks off in this period they call the Great Evening. It's a time when an entire civilization has basically just fallen asleep, a deep, deep, and very comfortable slumber. Now, that phrase, terminal spiritual stagnation, is so important here. This wasn't just a phase they were going through. This was their end state. Comfort had literally become their one and only god. Things like ambition, struggle, greatness, yeah, all of that was traded away for a hollow, totally predictable security. And these metaphors just capture the deception so perfectly. I mean, from the outside, it probably looked amazing. A gilded cage, right? But on the inside, it's nothing more than a pious cow of contentment, just mindlessly chewing on ease with zero real life in it. They essentially built a tomb for themselves and had the nerve to call it paradise. And this is who lives there, the last man. Now, this isn't just one guy, it's the archetype for everybody in this era. The last man wants zero risk, zero pain, zero challenges. His soul has just rotted away in this comfort-induced stupor, and he's completely mistaken his stagnant, boring peace for some kind of perfected universe. But of course, into this quiet world of decay, something has to arrive, a disruptive force. An elemental power that just cannot stand this deep, profound stagnation. So enter the architect of negation. Okay, so this slide really lays out the core conflict. On one side, you've got the last man, passive, tired, just wants to rest. And on the other, you have the grim Nash, an active, subversive force coming down from the wild mountains. It is the absolute ultimate contrast between just giving up and having the will to uncreate. So who is this grim Grashesh really? Well, he's inspired by the insatiable hunger of the Wendigo myth, but his craving isn't for flesh, it's for illusions. His entire purpose is to uncreate the comfortable lies that hold the city together, and he's aiming right for its high priest of the status quo, a guy named Salvio Polito. And how's he gonna do it? Well, his first weapon is something called the logic of zero. You can think of it like a philosophical acid, or even better, a jagged bleed of laughter that just cuts through all their serious, rigid rules. It shows them that their absolute laws are really just contracts written in disappearing ink, exposing the complete void at the center of their world. So as the Gnash starts unleashing his methods, the whole city begins to come apart at the seams, but not how you'd think. It doesn't just collapse into rubble, it transforms. His second weapon is even more unsettling, fiction necromancy. He doesn't just tell them their world is fake, he makes them feel it, right down in their bones. He rips away that salve of illusion, forcing this raw, visceral, unavoidable encounter with their own decay. And this is the haunting result. The city becomes a surreal playhouse. All those rigid structures, the predictable routines, the comfortable logic, it all just starts to melt away. It's not some violent explosion. It's described as a slow, colorful death of an entire way of life. The very foundations of their reality crumble into this bizarre, unsettling performance. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds terribly nihilistic, right? Just destruction for the sake of destruction. But the final act of this parable reframes everything. This isn't about nihilism. It's about a necessary creation through destruction. You see, the gash is on what you could call an inverted hero's journey. Unlike a normal hero who goes up, he descends to deliver this destructive but totally essential gift. His whole purpose is to clear away the deadwood, all the rot of the old order, to make way for something new, something stronger, to prepare the ground for the overcomer. And that's the crucial point here. This chaos is purposeful. All this negation, all this destruction, it's all bitter fertilizer. You can't grow a new, healthy forest without first clearing out all the rot. The Ganashia's actions are preparing the soil for a new kind of human to emerge, one that's defined by the process of becoming, not just passively being. And this all leads to the parable's ultimate philosophical punch. See, the Nash doesn't just shatter a city. He shatters the very idea of morality as they understood it. Just look at this comparison. The old world was built on a very simple binary, good versus evil. The Ganesh comes in like a hammer and just smashes that entire framework. In its place, he leaves a new, existential binary, striving versus weariness. Now the only question that actually matters is, are you actively engaging with life in all its chaos, or are you just passively giving in to decay? What comes out of the ruins is a spirit that can perform a grave dance. And what an incredible image that is. It means you can look at all the pain, all the chaos, all the brutal necessities of life, and you don't just endure them, you affirm them. You dance with them. That is the mastery of the overcomer. And that brings us to the final, really provocative takeaway here. The ultimate lesson of this whole parable is that redemption, it's not found in some state of perfect peace or comfort. No, it's found in the striving itself. So the question the Nash leaves us with isn't how do we build a better cage, but rather what are we willing to strive for once all the walls are gone?